What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of View for Solo Leveling. This is episode 5, I believe.
Yeah.
And with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
So, I've well, let's get the obvious thing out of the way. I mean, Jinu's got a major glow up. I mean, it looks like he's not even the same characters when we
Yeah, I
first
was
saw
gonna
him
say
back
he
in
looks
episode
like a
one.
completely different person.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to all the stats that he keep implementing into himself regarding strength, agility, vitality, so on and so forth. It's just not only that, it's just the various different the daily workout routines which he's forced to do. Otherwise, he'd be getting into that 4 hour penalty quest, whatever that was, if you fail to do them. So
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious, like the way that he looks. But what's also odd that he's as pointed out by his sister, that he's also taller too.
yeah. I guess I mean, I'm guessing that maybe because him leveling up his stats maybe has some kind of effect on his physical appearance too.
Yeah, I mean, well, according to his sister, well, we never really got his age, but we could assume that he's more of a college student age.
Yeah.
So it's maybe, I don't know, maybe around his early 20s or something like that, or just when he was about to hit 20. I'm guessing.
hmm
Yeah.
Well,
So
actually, I wasn't that other character. I forget his name. Later in the episode, like he mentioned, I think he was. I think he said he was like 20 or 21. Uh,
I
and he
think
said that he thought he might be younger than Sung or Jinwoo.
yeah, it could be possible, but it's. I mean, I mean, it's pretty clear, according to Sung's sister. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he could be in his early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so once Sung gets discharged from the hospital, he gets a call saying that his last month's rent is overdue, but um, he decides to go out of his way to pay for it. Even though the landlord decided to, it was nice enough to at least try to postpone the payment. So Song decides to, of course, get into another raid quest to get some more money. Um, of course, I mean, to other people, they still view him as a level like a like an E rank hunter, but with his current stats, it's possible he could be much higher than that. So he gets into a party which of course hires him, and of course, like, he signs a contract stating that he, like, with his status as an quote unquote E rank, that he's not allowed to get any of the drops from all the monsters that they kill, but he's allowed to get the overall payment after the quest is done.
Yeah,
Um,
basically his job would be just carrying around their bags.
yeah, but what he also finds suspicious, that not a single party member in that group has a healer, and
Mm.
he finds that quite odd once he looks at each and every member of the team, and he also befriends another character in the group. I think, what's his name? Uh, I think his name is Jinho,
hmm
who who's sporting like all these, like, almost like high level tier equipment that, according to him, he got from his dad, because he's like some kind of rich businessman of sorts.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming maybe he's some kind of a law student or something because he later on looks over the contract that Jinwoo signed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I guess for any kind of just because I guess for maybe any discrepancies or something um, but yeah, so yeah, they basically go into this dungeon and the first thing that happens is they're ambushed by these giant insect monsters and
They
yeah,
almost, yeah, almost like giant ants of sorts.
yeah,
Most of them, like most of the hunters, of course, end up dealing with them. We don't see Sung fight as much in this episode. I mean, the most we get to see of him doing is just back heel kicking an ant about to attack him.
yeah. Um, but of course, like the whole time they're in the dungeon, Sung is suspicious of what's going, or the setup of the party, and also that they're just something just generally seems off about the whole situation.
Yeah. And of course, that's when they reach the uh what was it, the boss dungeon, in which they see like apparently a giant sleeping spider just sleeping right on top of the room. And all over they see like a whole slew of like mineable mana crystals that they could obtain, and of course, with I think Jinho mentions in the contract that that there's nothing that says that uh, that Sung can't get like whatever's being mined in the cavern. So essentially, they're trying to agree to a seven-way split of sorts throughout the entire group, and then so the leader of the group decides to bring everyone else besides Jinho and Sung along with them. Because they want to go out to get some mining equipment, but then soon afterwards they end up trapping both of them in the cavern with the giant spider.
Yeah. So the whole thing was pretty much a trap, uh, and they were like Jinwoo and both of them were used as bait. Um, so I mean, because like also throughout the episode, he was assuming that this job was sort of it was too good to be true, like because the amount of money he was being paid just to like, kind of carrying around their bags. So he figured there was something more to it, and of course he found out the hard way that this was what the plan was to trap them both inside, and I guess have the spider kill them.
Yeah, and plus, like, it's due to his like prior experience of learning, like this kind of situation before from one of his. I think it was the guy that led his previous party that that led to most of their deaths, and of course led to Sung being awakened for the first time. Of course, according to him, like there are groups that are corrupt at times, and they're willing to to kill off some of their teammates and cover it up due to the fact that there's no surveillance footage of whatever happens in dungeons.
Yeah. So the episode pretty much ends with Jinwoo deciding to try to fight the spider himself, um, which I guess he feels confident that he could potentially beat it, even though he is like an E rank level.
I mean, it's possible he has a much higher, his level is at least partly high enough to go up against the spider,
Mhm.
depending on and how much his stats are. But yeah, I think he looks confident enough that he can take this boss. I mean, we seen in the last episode like how strong he is. Basically, we saw him strangling a freaking basilisk to death with his bare hands.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I guess him fighting the spider might be a similar situation where he just kind of has to try to get the better of it. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, and I'm sure. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that what's his name, the guy with the armor,
Jinho.
Jinho. Yeah, I guess he'll probably have to try to help. Maybe they probably will have to end up probably working together just to defeat the spider anyway. Though, I'm sure Jinwo will try to take it on by himself, but he might need his help.
I'm I'm pretty sure Jinwoo is gonna take it on by himself. I mean, obviously
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
Unless the spider has some kind of like trick or something, or he does something that Jinwoo was not expecting, I guess.
Yeah. Not only that, they'll probably have to run into to the group that abandoned them in the
Yeah.
first place. So
Well,
it's
that's what I'm wondering too. Is like, how are they going to confront them after they deal with the spider?
yeah. I mean, obviously, like it sucks that the episode just ends off, just before it gets good. I mean, hell, I mean this show is already near its halfway point, and it's and Junior was basically literally just getting into the good part.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a fairly decent episode. It's I kind of like where the show is going. I mean, I find it like I I do find like that it's at least somewhat self-aware, I guess, of what it is, and it's not really trying to be anything more than that. So, um, but I also like how we also have some like comedic moments where in the beginning of the episode where after he's gained all the strength, he just like naturally attracts all the nurses in the hospital. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Um, and I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. Like, I wasn't really sure what exactly to expect from the series, but yeah, I mean, it definitely feels. I guess the biggest complaint is that it's somewhat derivative of stuff we've seen before with other isekai or reverse isekai. But like I said, it feels like it's also kind of self aware of what it is, and it's not really trying to be anything more than that. It's just it's mostly just it does follow those trends and those tropes, but it also just is at the same time is entertaining nonetheless. So I mean, I've
Mhm.
enjoyed it for what it is. Um,
Yeah. There is
yeah,
another thing I want to point out is they they've been showing like small scenes of some of the other hunters, particularly like some of the other S rank hunters. Um,
yeah,
like Chahayin, for example, who's the main female character of the show. Like we barely get to see her in at least a couple episodes in two small scenes, and then there's another character. I think I don't know what this guy's name is. Like, and he's like a short orange hair, almost as like more than ripped than Jinwoo. Of course,
I think we saw
we
him at
see
the
him in like
beginning of the series too, right?
yeah, we saw him at the beginning of the show too, and we see him in like like at the beginning of the show, beginning of this episode in a news broadcast, and of course in a training room later on in the episode. But yeah, but much of the show, in these past five episodes have been focused mostly on Jinwoo.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't really have much else to say about the episode, though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
I mean, overall, I am enjoying the show. It's just, it's still like I still express amount of disappointment. Considering that this is only going to have like 12 episodes, uh, because I already know for a fact that there's a lot more chapters to cover even after the initial 12 episodes are done, and of
Hmm.
course, like Jinwoo is barely scratched the surface of how strong he can potentially be.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured as much, but um, yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get a season two, I guess. But I guess we'll just have to see how season one goes. It seems like it is a fairly popular series, though, so far. So, I mean, I'm sure there'll probably be a demand for another season.
Yeah, most definitely.
Hmm.
And of course, like the fan base is has grown ever since the show started. And I mean, there was a lot of hype going on to this show, and obviously, fans are hopefully looking forward to a potentially a second season already, due to how popular the show is. At this point already.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, but that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.